All I want from Christmas is to see other people smiling, and this movie made me smile, and it made me smile to see the other people smiling.
Yeah.
So.
I thought we were gonna say all I want for Christmas is you.
No, I said alone.
We're back.
Okay, so we're back. So now we're going to Miss Patricia.
Okay, the one I picked, because I do consider it a Christmas movie, is Love Actually, directed by Richard Curtis. And let's see the preview.
Throughout the years, working title films and writer Richard Curtis have captured the euphoria, hysteria, and humiliation of love. With the films 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, and Bridget Jones's Diary. This holiday season, join this unforgettable filmmaking team.
Welcome, Prime Minister. This is Natalie.
Hello, David. I mean, sir.
20 years ago, you'd have been just his type.
As they explore that time of year when desires are revealed.
I'm in love.
Aren't you a bit young to be in love?
No.
Oh, well, okay.
Secrets are exposed.
Your secretary is very pretty.
Is she?
Be careful there.
And chances are finally taken.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Universal Pictures invites you
What's the best sex you've ever had?
Britney Spears. No, I ain't kidding. She was rubbish.
to take everything you know about love.
You have this kind of problem? Yeah, of course you did, you saucy minx.
And multiply it by 8.
Would you excuse me for 1 second? Okay, that's done.
This will be Hugh Grant, Liam Neeson, Colin Firth, Laura Linney, Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, Rowan Atkinson, Keira Knightley.
Christmas is the time to be with the people you love.
Yeah, I need a car.
This holiday season,
Does Natalie live here?
all you need
Hello.
is love, actually.
Such a great movie. I tell you, one of my top 3.
See, already, I haven't just watched it.
Yeah. It's about 9 stories that are so cleverly intertwined and come together at the end. And it's about different kinds of love. It's like, a little boy who loves somebody like his age, and his stepfather tries to help him. A husband and wife who he's flirting with, screwing around, and she catches him. That was a tearjerker. Laura Linney plays her love for her mentally ill brother, even though she gives up her life. There's so many, but the one they didn't show that I didn't even remember is the 2 nudist guys, doing porn.
Oh, Martin.
They
that
didn't
was
show
my
it.
favorite.
Of course.
Yeah.
But they didn't show it in the movies I've seen.
Maybe you're watching it on TV.
Well, first of all,
Cable.
yeah, they're naked.
Yeah, they're naked.
yeah,
And they fall in love, right? Bill Nye is the best because he's playing an aging rocker who had a hit maybe 25 years ago, and he's trying to do a comeback with a Christmas hit. Yes, and him and his manager, and he's so outrageous, but Bill Nye can play that part so well. So the whole thing goes together, and it goes back and forth, and at the end, it all comes together. But because it's British, it's not like, the dramatic love story that Americans do, the sappy shit, right? Yeah. This is like a lot of humor.
I'll disagree with that one.
Yeah, there's plenty of sap in this one.
I didn't think it was sappy. I thought it was funny. It's funny, and it shows the dirty part of love, the gritty, messy part. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody. Excuse me.
And yes, and don't forget, it takes all around Christmas. It's all around Christmas. Don't forget their theme.
It's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
Because it's sort of funny because this is a movie I never really liked because I tend not to like these all-star cast movies with this and that and all that. But I will say this. I thought Bill Nighy, you're right. He's excellent. That is such a wonderful character. He made me laugh almost every time he was on screen, except, like you said, when he has a touching moment with his manager.
Right.
I thought that was terrific. This also was a first for me because I had, for example, the nudist couple you're talking about, I had never seen Joanna Page before. Now, she went on to go on and be in this sitcom, British sitcom called Gavin and Stacey, where she's wonderful. She's a Welsh actress. But seeing her playing this role and then watching it again, I said, see, no, she's magic in this, and Martin Freeman playing this. Except I thought, like you, I thought they were making a porno film. What it turns out, because I was reading Wikipedia, because at first I didn't want to watch the movie again. It's like, no, I'm not going to watch the movie again. I'll read the Wikipedia.
Right.
Well, they claim that what they do, they're the nude stand-ins.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Because I know when I first saw the movie, I thought they were making porn.
Right. They're standing for porno.
Well, they're not standing for porno. They're standing. They do the nude scenes for like. Because at one point he does say, "Oh, I stood in for Brad Pitt once," right?
Right.
And it's like he looks nothing like Brad Pitt.
Right.
But he's a wonderful actor, and she's just really this wonderful, likable. So when they're on screen, here they are, like I said, naked, doing all this and that. And they just converse. They just talk just like
but
regular,
everyday
like
things, yeah.
Exactly. About, wasn't the traffic worse? And it's like, they really work. And that was the wonderful thing. I thought they were wonderful in this. That's the couple I identified and wanted to see more of. Now, the corny ones are the things like the Keira Knightley, what is his name?
Chiwetel Ejiofor and the other...
Lincoln, I can't remember.
Yeah,
he's the guy in The Walking Dead.
Andrew Lincoln.
Andrew Lincoln, right. He's the one that's, made Walking Dead, because he's somebody I'd never seen before. So, and the Colin Firth and the Portuguese.
Oh, that was hysterical.
But see, that's also the corny parts to me. But another first in this movie for me were two songs I had never heard. Well, I take it back. I heard one. All I Want for Christmas. I had never heard that song. So when the young girl is singing at the Christmas pageant, it's like, that's a really good Christmas song. And then, of course, I hear the Mariah Carey saying, oh, this is a huge Christmas song, right?
Yeah.
And then, oddly enough, it was Joni Mitchell's, her own rendition of Both Sides Now.
Yeah.
I had never heard her sing that, only the Judy Collins, right? That slayed me, because when I heard her sing that, I said, oh my God, I'm listening to that voice that has lived both sides now. And when she sings
rendition.
It's amazing. Yeah. So that's the one thing I'll give this movie about. It did introduce me to some people I liked and songs I liked. But for the most part, it's an entertaining enough movie. And especially if you like love stories and Christmas. This really does meld all that together. Because even at one point, I even had to admit that the thing with Liam Neeson.
Oh, God, I love
his
that
wife
one.
dies, and he has inherited a stepson. It's not his son.
Right.
And his stepson has fallen in love, but he's trying to be a real adult about supporting him and trying to figure it out. The weird part is how everyone seems to know everybody in this. But the part I did like was the opening and the ending, because it reminded me of an SNL short, which I was trying to find and I couldn't, where I could have sworn they used Simon and Garfunkel's Homeward Bound. And I don't know if it was at Christmas or Thanksgiving, where they just showed people being reunited at the airport. And I love that stuff part. Like that. So I had to admit, the opening and the very ending.
That was beautiful.
That's the part I actually was touched by.
Yeah, me too.
Which is unfortunate because, like I said, anyone, and the cast, I'm not going to fault anyone in the cast. I thought they're all doing what they need to do in this movie to make it work. So
I hear a 4 coming.
But I'm just no.
So yeah, you're right. The thing that all the people are connected in one way or another. I was telling her that, and she goes, "Duh." It's like, so yeah, this movie I've seen it so many times, and from the opening credits, I'm already crying. It's like I cannot bear. It's like by the time the movie ends, I am exhausted. I don't know. It's just it's like those different stories. And it's like, okay, what's the next story that's gonna make me cry to death? Because they're very emotional. I think I like Bill Nye. I thought Bill Nye and Rowan Atkinson provide a comedy relief from the crying. But
I'm glad you brought up Rowan Atkinson. That's one thing I should mention too that I thought was interesting. On seeing this viewing, it's almost like he's playing a little angel.
Yes, I was going to say that.
I'm sorry.
No, but you're right. He's like a magical character. Yes, he pops up and he does certain things for a reason. So he's kind of
not unlike Mr. Bean.
He's sort of fixing one couple by doing one thing.
Yeah, and he's trying.
But it's that smile he gives Liam Neeson.
Yes, at the end. Yeah, that was good.
I never noticed that, and I thought, there's something with that.
Yeah, he knew what was going on, and he was up in my lungs.
Right,
and then the whole scene with the
rapping.
Man, it was like, but wait, you got to do this. It's like, what are you going to do now? Dip it in yogurt and chocolate? So he's delaying it because he's making it uncomfortable for him, letting him know that this isn't a thing you shouldn't be doing. So it's very uncomfortable. So let's stretch out the uncomfortableness of it. Yeah. And then he helps out the kids. So, but yeah, I mean, I love this movie. All the stories. I enjoy all the stories. They all just get me. I'm just like bawling and that's what I can say about it. It's just I really enjoy it.
And they all stand up.
And one thing I like about the Liam Neeson one where the kids like I'm in love. It's so funny because he's so young. It's like okay, it's time for Leo and whatever it is. And they watch Titanic.
Leo and Kate.
And they do a whole scene at the end which is very Titanic-ish. It's a classic with the kid chasing the girl at the airport.
Right.
And that's what Rowan Atkinson helps them. It's classic love story ending where they meet up. It's just so it's like how much more can you do to just get me the the Portuguese girl and that one?
Oh my God, that was hysterical.
Or Hugh Grant, and it's just one after another. I'm like, I can do it. Yeah.
Well, I said we show these separately. So I said in another episode of this show that it's Christmas time, so these are manipulative movies. This is probably the most manipulative of all of them, and I'm a sucker for it.
I was going to say, is that a bad thing?
No, not in this case. Yes, it is, and no, it isn't.
Right.
Because it's a bad thing, but in terms of me, it's going to get me every time.
Me too.
And as Lon had said about the Joni Mitchell recording of Both Sides Now, which she had sung on one of her first albums.
Right.
And back then, her voice was like this sort of bell-like crystal,
right?
And now it's a voice who has lived that life, and the arrangement is like Gil Evans meets Nelson Riddle. It's just unbelievable, and just for that alone, and also the other thing about the Laura Linney thing is that I think where that movie really jumps out into a different area is in the scene where she's with her brother and he tries to hurt her,
right? And
they have to bring the people because all of a sudden it's like I did not expect that to happen. Where I think he's holding a pen or something. He almost tries to stab her, and they have the attendants at the place have to restrain him and get him to calm down so that he can sit there. And so we see.
And she says, "Don't do that, darling."
Right, and she is willing to give up her shot at happiness, which I'm not a big fan of. I mean, I think we don't need another martyr, but I understand that on the same level. It's your family. She's the only one there to take care of her family. Right. And that to me is where that movie becomes actually heroic.
I don't think I would have been that big, especially with that guy. I don't have the phone.
Yeah, you know what? But also because that guy,
he can call back.
Yeah, but also that guy is because he's a robot from Westworld.
I was trying to figure out why they're in Britain.
A robot from Westworld.
The
love interest.
The Portuguese actor, I think probably Portuguese.
The brother.
No,
the love interest.
The love interest.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was like so bland.
Well, he wasn't meant to be anything special.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know that.
He was just one gorgeous hunka.
He's actually a model.
Yeah.
He's a.
Yeah, he was like about the weakest link in the movie, but he was the weakest link.
Yeah.
But it made me tear up over and over again. I think this is maybe the third time I've seen it.
Watch it.
There always will be something in that movie. I mean, first of all, I'm really a sucker if you're playing the right music.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, there's another really, I think, really good song in that, and that is the, what's her name, the girl from
Christmas.
No, The Trouble with Love Is Kelly Clarkson.
Oh yeah.
Which is used very predominantly in the latter part of the movie.
I didn't know that was Kelly.
Yeah, that's
great soundtrack.
The soundtrack was great.
Yeah, and Bill Nye. I mean, Bill Nye in this movie. I had just recently seen a film with him. Is the first thing I really noticed him in called Still Crazy, where he plays a washed up.
Great movie.
The Band?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great
It's one of the
movie.
all-time great British
movie.
comedies, and
Great
he
movie.
and that character, it's the same character, but like he's taken it even further. So when he did this, it's like sort of more okay. Here's a more homogenized version that fits into the whole tone of this movie, because the movie is a certain tone. It's a fantasy. The whole movie is a fantasy, but it's a fantasy with moments of manipulated emotions. But if you're going to manipulate me, this is the way to do it.
The way to do it. Me too.
And it's like I'm a guy who's like basically alone for Christmas.
Right.
I don't mind being alone for Christmas. This movie is. I realized a few years back, all I want from Christmas is to see other people smiling, and this movie made me smile, and it made me smile to see the other people smiling.
Yeah.
So.
I thought we were gonna say all I want for Christmas is you.
No, I said alone. No, there's somebody I want for Christmas. But
Okay, Susie.
Okay, this has become a Christmas classic.
It is.
You know, it's so hokey, but I love it. Every possible conceivable love situation, even the brother, even her relationship with her brother, it's a different kind of love. When you talk sacrificial love, you know, there's all different
kinds of love.
Different
That's
kinds
what
of
makes
love.
it great.
That's what
It's
about.
love, actually.
Yeah. Gee, they should call that.
Hugh Grant, Emma Thomas, Colin Firth. Who isn't in this movie? You know what I mean? It's
Alan
like all
Rickman.
the great British actors, comedians
of
are
that
in
era,
this.
certainly, yeah.
I actually like all the films written and directed by Richard Curtis.
Micrófono.
Four Weddings.
Get that microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Bridget Jones' Diary, which I actually got the book. I was on the floor. It was like so funny. Notting Hill. I think this elevates the romance genre because I'm not a romance genre person.
Me either. Hate it.
But and one of the things, it's almost so good I can't watch it because it's so distresses me. Yeah, like he says, it's like emotionally exhausted.
And that's why I chose it.
But love actually takes the cake in these kind of movies, right? I really think it captures the British depth of feeling that's kind of trapped in this very reserved type of
yeah, like the guy who carries a sign that says, you know,
yes.
And he says, okay, now that's enough.
Yeah, it's a reserved kind of expression of it, which makes it more intense.
British, very British.
And it's very
British.
British. And it also makes it more passionate and intense. You can feel it rather than
see it. Yeah.
And you can, in this movie, you feel it. That kind of, that's what I was trying to explain to somebody having a British parents. Our mother didn't well, she did, but in public, it would just be like that. You know you're going to die.
You know the
death is soon.
Yes.
Right? Is coming.
The minute we get home, if not before.
Exactly. Just a look. So there's a really, maybe I'm more in tune to it because of that.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
I really feel it from this movie. These people seeking to, and with that very British culture, you know, trying to reach for that.
Get love.
That love, right? And you can feel that. It's like when others are blubbering their intense emotional crap. It's
That's
like
why I like British
don't
ones.
even. It's like
British romance movies are hysterical.
Yes.
Well,
because they show the chaoticness of love.
And I would say there's a third comedic character too that I forgot, which is the guy from Death in Paradise. It's like, I don't know what the problem is. I need a British woman. I need an American woman. I need an American.
Because they'll just love my British accent.
Yeah, they love my British accent.
Murder in
A
Paradise.
backpack chock full of condoms.
Death in Paradise.
Death in Paradise.
Yes, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's
Yes.
another comedic character.
Well,
Yes.
I don't get the reference you're making. So who is it? What's the character in the movie?
The character in the movie is
He's the one that goes to the United States because
he wants to
here
go.
they love
okay,
him.
Take me to a bar.
But that reminded me of something else. A point I wanted to make about this. This is a white British comedy.
Well, no
There's
offense.
only, fortunately, Chiwetel Ejiofor is not American, so I don't have to call him an African American. I don't know what, but he's a black actor, and the character is not given too great treatment in this. I think because
why? He's a dick.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he marries Keira Knightley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just very nothing. He's really not important. He's like the other guy.
I didn't get that from his performance at all. I didn't get that from the character at all. Yeah. But the whole thing is not about. He's the only black character in the movie. And
well, this
he's
is what
not.
No, that's another one. The guy that goes to America, his friend.
Yeah,
the
guy who basically is working on the film.
Yeah.
But let me just say this is that I really kind of have a problem with. I always want to say like England, or if you're talking about Hungary, where the like white people come from. You know, if you went to Africa and there was a lot of black people, you wouldn't think that's bad.
Where is that white person?
You know, that's where the white people come from. Yeah. Is the North and Europe. So it doesn't strike me odd that they would.
Well, I just thought the character is treated as somebody who's in the way of the actual love.
Well, no, she loves her husband.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the one thing I did appreciate.
She does, but she is taken by she's
just
the whole thing is about the other. It's the other guy's story. It's not his story.
Being kind.
No, it's nothing to do with really. He's like the good-looking.
It's the complexity.
Yeah,
of that,
the Portuguese guy.
Yeah, the Portuguese guy.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but that's funny because that's a very American thing.
Yeah, I mean, like there's like that's where white people come from, the North.
Well, so why have the character in it at all?
Well, because there are Caribbean people in England,
and he's a very famous actor.
Well, he wasn't that famous at that point.
No, at that point, no.
Yeah. I think he's not. Black,
he's not Caribbean. I don't think.
Is he Indian?
He's African, I think.
He's British.
He's British. Exactly.
Yeah. See, people in other countries, like if you go to Canada or Britain, they don't say, "Oh." If I said, "So, what are you?" Right. You would say you're Canadian. You'd say, "I'm Canadian."
No, people used to ask me, like at the video store, "Oh, so what are you?" I said, "I'm American."
Right.
You know, I don't know what they say. It's like, and you know what their response is? "Oh, don't be like that."
Well, what they mean is what's your ethnicity.
That's different.
Why not say that?
Because it could be anything. It could be you could be Japanese, you could be Chinese, you could be Korean, you could be
a million things.
So it's like what's
your
ethnicity?
American is the true sense. I mean, if you were born in America, but I noticed that it's like somebody. I mean, Canada is multicultural, but you ask any ethnicity. What are you? They'll all say Canadian or British. They don't say, "Oh, I'm from Timbuktu."
Well, which is beside the point that I was
making. Right. Yeah, they don't say that.
I'm Indian Canadian.
Or they might say, because they understand what you're asking. Right. They might say, "Well, I'm Canadian, but my parents are from."
Right. Exactly. That's what I say.
India.
I done sound from comedy shows, and when I get European comedians, that's one thing they always say about the U.S. That's the only place where you have to define what you are. It's interesting that you don't see that in Europe. Like you have to whatever.
No.
You have to start thinking about
Italians are Italian.
Right. That says what your ethnicity is. Right.
I think that's sad. It makes a division in a country. When
I think that was an interesting part. I think like Spike Lee even mentioned that when he went to Britain. You know, he says, "Oh, it's sort of nice because you refer to me as an American filmmaker." Where it's always the black or African American filmmaker.
That's what changed Malcolm X.
But see, I feel like, no offense to Americans, but I feel like they have this issue and they take it everywhere.
Where they go.
They take it everywhere they go. Yes. It's kind of like, but, I mean, I had African teachers and Caribbean teachers in Canada,
but they're Canadian.
They're Canadians.
Let's get back to the movie.
So I didn't really have that. I just find that really, that's where
I always find that
that's
strange.
where white people are from. Okay, so this is your movie. You're going to.
Well, be careful.
No, I gave it a 5.
She's watching.
No.
What? What?
I'm sorry, I will say this right now with my thing. I'm not a Richard Curtis fan. I was not a big fan of Four Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, and all the stuff.
I hated those movies.
So that's
Bridget Hill was hysterical.
Did he write it?
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait,
okay.
Well, I don't know if he wrote the book. I read the book first. But I don't know if he took that from a book and wrote the screenplay, or if he wrote the book.
Yeah.
No, the book existed first.
Huh?
The book existed first.
Yeah.
Okay, George. What?
The book
No,
existed
this
first.
movie is
the writer.
Wait.
No, a woman wrote it.
Oh, okay. It's hysterical.
Okay, hold on. George.
Yeah, so this movie has become a classic Christmas movie. It's
like a 20
like
right?
Well, it's like a Christmas Story or 8-Bit Christmas. I'll give it a 10.
Yeah.
I'll do 7.
I give it a 10.
I give it a 25. Just to compensate yours.
Okay.
But you know why? Because you feel it in your fingers. You feel it in your toes.
See again, from 4 Weddings and a Funeral, when that song, right? It was one of the biggest songs in British chart
hated
history.
that movie.
I did too. I did like Notting Hill, but I didn't
like Notting Hill.
First of all, he uses Hugh Grant a lot. And my only second favorite person to Hugh Grant, male actor, is Colin Firth.
Oh,
right?
And I think
no wonder you love Bridget Jones's Diary.
Oh yeah, right. And there's also 2 actors.
Finish it off
And
soon.
this.
But also 2 actors that both should have been James Bond.
I agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. Okay. I agree with him on that. So,
Susie, do you agree with him on that?
I think I do.
And Kevin Spacey should have been the villain.
That'd be great.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
if
go.
only we could make a movie. Okay, so that ends. And we make your movie too. So that ends our Christmas selection. We'll try and release these one every day up until Christmas. It'll be fun.
Wow.
So
Good luck, George.
So remember to subscribe and like us. You can help us.
Make some money.
We don't make any money. There's no money in this. Okay. Thank you.
My PayPal account is.
Until next year.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year.
Feliz
Happy New
Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Juan Natali. Meli Kalikimaka from Hawaii.
Marikikamaka. Oh, I like
Meli
that.
Kalikimaka.
Marikikamaka. Okay.
Can you say it in Japanese?
I don't know how to say that in Japanese.
Oh,
Do they
shame
actually
on you.
celebrate? Yeah. Sorry.
Do they celebrate Christmas in Japan?
Well, I'm sure there's Christians there. If they're
Yes, there
Christians,
are.
they
Yeah.
celebrate.
That's like the number 3 religion in Japan. Is
There you
Christianity.
go.
Oh, you're right.
Like
But I don't think I've ever seen a Christmas tree in Japan.
Where were you there last?
I look at pictures.
Oh, so are we saying goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.